All right, so all the questions today are going to be about average rate of change, and that is you're going to apply the idea of slope to things that are linear and nonlinear. So you might have a curve. Now we've already studied this pattern. We can see that they're all going down by 12, right? But so this one is actually a line, but a lot of times you may have even a parabola, and they're going to give you an interval, and so you're going to look at a point on the graph and another point based on the interval. So this, let's say that's the 12 and that's the 30. And then we're going to study the hypothetical line, and we're going to find how much it changed on average from point to point. Now sometimes it could be going up and down, whatever, but the average change is what we're going to do. We're going to use that applying the idea of slope. And actually when you've heard of the course called calculus, well, the idea of calculus is all based off studying the slope of a curve at certain areas. So this leads to that. So and you'll see it better when we get to some picture examples. So the first part, we studied this window from 12 to 30, and so we identify those two spots on our chart, and now we're going to apply the concept of slope to it. So it doesn't matter which way we do the ordering. You could start from the bottom up. So I'm going to take the equation is over here. You got y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So let's say we have 16 minus 40 over 30 minus 12. So I went this direction with my subtraction, and I stayed consistent with both. I just couldn't have done something like, okay, so this one would be an okay way to set it up. An optional way of setting it up is you could have gone 40 minus 16 and 12 minus 30. So like I went that direction, the same direction both ways. But what you cannot do, you cannot mix them up. You can't go like 40 minus 16 and then 30 minus 12. So I went this way and then I went this way. You can't do that. That will give you the wrong answer. You'll have the wrong side, and it'll throw you off. So this is definite no. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It's arbitrary which one you call point 1 or y1 and x2, the first point or second point. It's arbitrary. What matters is, did you keep the order the same? So if I started with this value, I have to end with that value for both the y's and the x's. Okay, we kind of good? All right, let's go ahead, just so that we're all staying consistent. Let's put this one in our calculator. Go ahead and see if you can get the answer. Everybody do the thing, not just some of us. This is your practice. All right, what'd y'all get?
-4/3.
-4/3. I think this is 24 over -18, so that's all divisible by 6. -4/3, yeah. All right, so make sure you can get that. We're good to go. All right, next set. So the x boundaries, now this one's different. 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 24, 24 to 28. Is it going up by the same amount? No, this is nonlinear. All right? This is kind of a function like this, which is growth. And depending on where they're asking, like you could get something that's low, that's a very small positive slope. Or if they ask something like this, it could be much bigger. Or if they ask for something like this, it would seem really steep. So depending on where you're looking, the average rate of change could be drastic. You get drastically different answers from an equation like this. All right, but they ask about 0, and then they ask about 4. They want to know the average rate of change from there. So you're going to set up your chart, 0, 3, 4, 48. That's x, that's y. And then set up your equation. So go ahead, set up your equation now. See if you can do that on your own. Okay, so these have to go together on the top in some fashion, and these have to go together on the bottom. You have to stick with the same order. So if I did 48 first, then I'm going to have to use the 4 first on bottom. 48 minus 3, 4 minus 0. You have to stay in the same order. What is that? 45 over 4.
Yes, 4.
4? Oh, goodness gracious. That is a 448.
And then you think I was wrong.
Well, yeah, that is what it is. It reduces to that as well. That would be the answer.
I thought I missed something.
It won't reduce. So there you go. And it's positive.
Yep.
If you went the other way, it's fine. So let's say we did the other direction. 3 minus 48 and 0 minus 4. That's like negative 45 over negative 4. It still turns out to be the same sign. It's only when you don't match the order right that it ends up with the wrong answer. So if you did it this way, that's fine. You'll get the same answer, positive 45 over 4. All right, see if you can set up this one all the way and do it all the way on your own. All right, so we got to choose the 2 points. I was hoping that we got this set up before we had that little disruption, but we've got 2 and 3. Okay, so we're looking at 2 and 28, 3 and 19. I'm just going to go in that order. So we're talking about 19 minus 28 over 3 minus 2. Cajun. Just go see Coach Tucker. Alright, so we do this subtraction. What do you get here?
I got negative 9.
Okay, I'm seeing the same thing, negative 9. Alright, good deal. Are we cool in the first section?
Yes.
Alright, good deal. Yeah, we've got to do the graphs and stuff. So this one's probably easier than the previous one. The last section's a little challenging. Alright, so first thing we need to do, now I don't expect you to write all this. We're just going to do this part.
Okay.
We're just going to find our 2 points. And when you get this, obviously they're going to pop up a random graph. Please stop playing bumper cars with your calculator case. Alright,
That's kind of up.
there's one of them, is negative 8. Alright, the other boundary is negative 7. Now we've got to identify the y values that correspond with this. So you just go on your chart. Now, the tricky part is they change the scales all over here, so you have to read the graph. If we go left 8, we're talking about that point there, and the y value is not 1. If every 2 is 10, 20, 30, what's this intermediate? It's 5. Very good. So that's our y value. So we got x, we got y. Now we need our other coordinate, the very last one. So we go left 7. It's in between 8 and negative 6 and negative 8, right here. And this one is at 10. So now we're set up. We're going to still find, we're still looking, average rate of change is like applying slope on a curve. And it's not necessarily going to be the straightest thing, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to go in this direction. So I'm going to go 10 minus 5 over negative 7 minus negative 8. Now I'm going to hit pause. I want to see you do that. Yes, it's going to be 5, but I want to see you do that on your calculator because you need to know that's a subtraction, and that one are negatives. Go, make it happen.
Done. I'm done.
All right, we're going to jump to the next one. This is the last one like this, so use that opportunity. It's your last example. So we've got 3 and we've got 6, so our x's are 3 and 6. So we've got to identify the other coordinates. You just read it on your graph. Here's 3. And then that y value, you've got, again, they change these charts. They change these scales. So check them. Sometimes the x's and y's are different scales. But this one is 3, and that's down there, and it's in between negative 4 and 0, so it's negative 2. And then 6, oh, that's weird. What's 6? Negative 2. So if we tried to apply a line to this, it's straight across, right? You've got positive, you got negative, then you got in between. So, but let's go ahead and double check. So we've got, I'm going to go this direction, negative 2, subtract negative 2 over 6 minus 3. Verify that you can plug that in. The answer is 0.
Wait.
Check it on your calculator and make sure you can get it to spit out a 0.
Yeah.
Five questions per section. 2 will be on the test for each section. Okay, so you'll have 2 of the graph questions, 2 of the table questions, and 2 of these on your test.
That's not bad.
Alright, let's jump here. This one, it crashed. It crashed. Oh my. Alright, again, so this looks a lot different, but we're going to turn it into the same exact format as the other problems. So you're going to start with a table on the first set, you'll start with a graph on the second set, and the third set they give you an equation. It's a little bit of work, but it's really not that bad, and by this point when you get here, you should be pretty good at this. So we have the 2x values already of our boundary. So we've got -7, and the other one is 0. We just need the y values. So you have to plug those in. So you'll evaluate h of -7, and you'll evaluate h of 0, and those answers will go here and here, and then you do the same slope calculation. Here's the trouble. We struggle a little bit with this. So here's our equation. I'm going to use the parentheses wherever there is a letter. Same thing here. And that's where you plug in the given value. For this one, it's a -7. And this one, it's a 0. Go ahead and evaluate those on your calculator, and we'll share our answers in a second. Does anybody want to share the results for the -7? All right. Canadian Cajun, what you got for -7? 17. Did y'all get 17 for the first one?
Yes.
Okay. Connor?
-4.
-4. That is also correct. Okay, good deal. So now we set up our equation. It can be whatever way you want. I'm going to try and stay consistent and just go the same direction. So -4 minus 17 over 0 minus -7. I think you get -3.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I know that that's a little tricky, but not too bad. All right, we're going to jump to our next one. Hold on a second. Okay, same style question, just a second try. This one's a little bit trickier with the negative. I'm going to walk around and see if you do this right. Okay, so we kind of have it set up. We identified our -2 and our 5. Those are our boundaries or our x values. We have to find the y values. This problem is tricky because it has so many negatives in front of those x's. These are the parentheses. You keep the whole shell of the question, and then you plug in the numbers given to you. So this one we're plugging in a -2 here, a -2 there, a 5 here, and a 5 here. So go ahead and see what you guys can get. I'm going to walk around in a minute and check. Colton, what did you get for the -2? 4? Somebody different. Anybody else want to tell me what they got for 5? Somebody hadn't called on yet today. Emily? -4. You got that as well, Desmond? -4?
No.
No? Or Zeke, it was you that spoke? I didn't know who it was. What? Okay, some people got -4. What did you get?
Yeah, I got that -24.
I got that.
Same.
I think you get -24 here.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, this is -25. This is a -5, so that's -30. So 6 minus 30 is -24.
Yes.
Okay, so that's okay. Just be careful with the plug-in. Once you get it down though, you're gonna be just fine. So I'm still gonna stay consistent. I could subtract this way. I'm gonna subtract this way just to stay with the same pattern. -24 minus a 4 over 5 minus -2. That's -28 over 7. The answer, the final answer. Oh, were you trying to tell me your final answer?
Yeah.
The final answer is -4. We were just doing these ones for the chart.
We do.
So when she told me the wrong answer, it was the right final answer. It just wasn't the
Let me do the thing.
question. Let me see.